Whenever I prepare for a show, I learn so much. Do you feel that way? Do you learn a lot? Like I learned so much about I don't know. I guess today we're gonna talk about immigration and the undocumented, status of citizens in our country. But I mean, I learned so much about America. Like, I really feel proud to be an American and to be in a country that has, the ideals, that has always had the ideals and the beliefs and the core values to welcome all people to America. Like, America is truly a land of, or it was built on immigrants. We're all basically, well, except for maybe Black people, I wouldn't really say we immigrate or migrated here. We were brought here, but everybody else, immigrated to this land.
A lot of Chinese people as well were forced here.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people, they weren't, but I think most people in modern times have, come to this land for our founding of our ideals, our opportunities, the land of the free, the land of the home, the brave, all, the American dream. I mean, that's just I mean, like preparing for this show, it's really showed me that that's why people like America, or that's what most people believed in America, whether it was a Republican or a Democratic government in charge, you know?
Oh, yes, I wanted to start this off with the definition of due process, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
In the United States, due process rights enshrined in the Fifth and 14th Amendment apply to everyone, including individuals who are in the country without legal status. This
Right.
means they are entitled to fair legal procedures, including the right to be informed or of charges, a right to a hearing, and the right to present evidence in their defense before the government can take away their life, liberty, or property. Now, does this include undocumented immigrants? Uh, do they have the right to due process?
Yes.
Yes, undocumented immigrants are entitled to due process rights as guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. This means they have the right to fair legal proceedings before being deprived of life, liberty, or property, including the right to a fair hearing or trial before detention, deportation, or other penalties. Now,
Absolutely.
my issue with this is um, what do you do when there's mass um, illegals coming in via the border, right? Now we know during the Obama and Biden administrations, they both deported what thousands, millions of
Yeah.
people,
And
and
that's what
no,
people know. That's what people
and nobody said anything about it. Um, why is it so heavy now with Trump? It's heavy now because
He's doing it illegally.
well, that but Obama didn't do it illegally.
Mm-mm.
What?
Because,
Because he did the turn away thing when there were a
well,
few. When,
yeah, the biggest issue that I see is that the way that Trump is using the ICE department, where they're just like rounding up people because they look like they're gang members, or they might have been told they're gang members, but they're not giving them due process. They're not giving them a fair trial. And no matter what, like if you're on this land, this is what America stands for. If you're on this land, even if you're not a citizen, you are entitled or you are given the right to
Right.
A
I
fair
just read
trial.
that.
Yeah.
My thing is, let's say you have 1,000 people and you know that they're illegal. It's going to take time to process leak in a court system those thousands of people when you
Right.
know that they're illegal.
Yeah.
So what the ICE is doing or what Trump is doing is just taking those 1,000 people that they know are illegal and
Yeah, but
bringing it, putting them back.
right, but that's not, I mean, they're undocumented. So, like a lot of the people that they're sending out, even Bukele, the guy, the president of El Salvador, he's saying that he's wondering if some of these people are even supposed to be here because he just said this today. So this is like breaking news. Because a lot of the people that, yeah, a lot of the people that they're rounding up aren't
And
supposed to be there.
Bailey says, I don't know about these guys.
Yeah,
Well, I know
they're
like there's a
profiling.
hairdresser.
They're
Yeah, yeah,
profiling.
yes, they're yeah, because I know there's a hairstylist who is I guess not a gay member or had any violent history and he's in there. But what how they're presenting it is they're getting all the bad people out. But the way they're showing it and doing it, like when they were at the when they bombarded that club a few days ago, and then the Colorado situations, it just seems like they're they're getting information and going straight to the source of where they are. So
Yeah, but my thing with that, because I know they have like snitch hotlines and all this stuff, but how do you know that those people are telling the truth? You know what I mean? They're just like if I called and was like, "Hey, Bishop, I know a guy, Bishop, he's undocumented, he's not supposed to be here," and then they go and pick you up. Like they like there's another story like of a family who got, I guess, somebody who used to live in that house like 2 weeks ago were undocumented. And so ICE went to like raid their home and broke in and, basically had the mom and the daughter outside naked. And because they thought, it's just like a lot of problems when you rush. I guess that's the biggest thing I'm trying to say is that there's a problem if you don't give people the opportunity to say or prove their case or give evidence as if they are undocumented or not, or if they're a criminal or not, if they're a gang member or not. So there's like an order that should be done. Like if you're a government official, if you're a leader of the free world and you have departments and you have like the whole ICE department, you have to take the time. You have to take the time to do this properly. Otherwise, there's going to be innocent people, which is happening. Like they're saying, like over 75% of the people that are being sent are not illegal. They are not gang members. And to send them to like a terrorist prison, like that's crazy. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I could only
but
imagine.
that's allegedly 75. That's like an estimate, right? That's not definite. They're just saying that.
I mean,
You're
but
wherever you're
people's
getting that source from.
families, yeah, a lot of these people's families are coming out and saying they're not gang members, they're not this, they're not that. So
Sure, but how many people can lie too about the family members to
give them a court, yeah, give them
give
a court
them?
date before you send them off to a torture camp. Like this is like life and death. Like it's like a humanitarian issue to me.
It feels like a scare tactic as well. It's like they're doing this in a mass um uh what am I trying to say? They're doing this in like a big way to scare off the illegals and undocumented to have them self-deport themselves. And like I've seen stories about that on the news because the left media will loves to hear those and show those stories off. And I think those stories are important to see, um, especially if they're honest. And this whole thing is a scare tactic. I do like the fact that we are getting like these illegals out of here, as far as like the violent ones. I do feel like Venezuela, or maybe not maybe, but the South America are giving us their like, you know, dirty dirty business people to come in here because they come in here easily. Whether sneaking in or just walking in or whatever, and then committing crimes uh, or the like. And if they are gang members, yeah, send them back or send them to prison. I see it on the right side. They are kind of focusing on the bad guys, and their stories and how much uh, their criminal history and whatnot. That's cool. But there's all, like you said, there's supposedly 75% or whatever that are not. And it's like if you have tattoos and Latino or you look Haitian or or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you're like subject to being yeah, picked up. And yeah, that is a problem. But how would we go about, I guess, well, I was just thinking when you were talking too, like if he's the president, and he's saying like the court system is slow, why can't he just put aside a judge for these particular crimes or
Because they
what am I
don't
trying
want
to say?
to, because they want to get these people out of our country. Because the biggest thing is, from what my understanding is that Trump campaigned on removing criminal,
Yes,
undocumented people in our country,
right.
right?
Yeah.
To some people, to the rallies, his rally base, that's to the general public, that was what he told everyone. And that's what people thought.
Yeah,
But
his idea was MS-13 and fentanyl
right, so
and child trafficking and all that stuff. Yeah.
everybody's into that. Nobody wants these terrible terrorist gang members ruining our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? I think everybody agrees on that, right? Like we don't want we don't want that stuff here. We don't. You
We
know,
don't want that stuff here.
yeah, like get it out of here. Like we're law and order. We do believe in law and order in a sense. Or we do believe in law and order. So that's what people wanted. But he told some of his other like hardline MAGA inside circle, or maybe just it was like in Project 2025, is that they wanted to get rid of all undocumented workers or undocumented people in America. That was another goal that they had that they did not tell the general public, which they did not openly campaign on. And so this was that, because like I was kind of confused. I was like, I thought he was just getting rid of the criminals, And I think a lot of people thought that. Like you see Latinos for Trump, like turning changing their stories now because he is getting rid of, he told hit like some of his inside circle, or like I said, in Project 2025, they are going to get rid of all undocumented people regardless if they're criminals or not. Because and the reason is because they don't want, okay. Remember when he said get rid of the black jobs? Like a lot of people, like they campaign on fear, on the fears of people. And people think immigrants are here to kill and they're criminals and they're rapists and they're pedophiles and all that stuff. That's what they're saying. And just to note that this is not facts. Most of the people here that have migrated to America are not committing as many crimes as even citizens. And just in general, like most of the people that are coming to America are hardworking people who just who had to leave their countries because of gang violence or political violence or just there's different reasons people had to flee their countries. And that's and that's why they are coming here. So it's not because but there are like let me be clear, there are bad people and cartels and whatever getting through the borders, or they did. There was a lot that got through during the Biden administration. um Like it was like record numbers. And they were saying because of also the pandemic, like, there was just a lot of people trying to get to the borders, and Biden put out the word like, hey, basically he didn't say we had open borders, but he just reversed a lot of Trump's previous border policies and, trying to reestablish the ideals of America by telling people, you guys could come in, we want to help, blah, 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 blah. But people, conservatives, do not want that. They do not like that because they feel that people are going to take our jobs, maybe
Tinker germs. Yeah.
maybe the black jobs that Trump was at one time referring to. Not totally sure what he meant by that because I do know a lot of professional black people, but I think he might have been trying to say like some of the low skilled jobs or some of these jobs in the farms and a lot of the like, to be honest, undocumented workers are here to do a lot of the jobs that Americans don't want to do. But at this point, I mean, MAGA just wants them out of here. And then I know a lot of Republicans or conservatives say, well, go the legal route, come here, go through our immigration system and become a citizen. Don't just cross the borders and come here illegally, which makes sense. But our immigration system is so jacked up. We have like 600 judges for like 2 billion pending cases. Like, why is that? Like, why haven't we, is there like, I mean, are people not going to school to be judges anymore? They don't want to be immigration judges. Like, our system is jacked up. Like, our immigration system is jacked up. That's all I have to say about that,
I
really.
mean, is it fair for them to come in all willy-nilly when, you know, like my mom, went through the system, like my friends' parents went through the system, like is that fair? And then from the sanctuary states, they're getting free room and board and what I'm saying, like money like allowances and stuff to start out. I mean, is that I think that's what they mean, like they're trying to, where's the equality in it
Well,
all?
because
Is
people don't want, um, in that case, like when you're giving money or helping others, the citizens are like, oh, you don't even help us. We're here struggling. We need this, we need that. But you guys are giving money to people who, you know,
who are not even from here. It's like what happened to America first?
yeah, it was never America first. Like America's not America. Like America first is really just it's a conservative ideal, but America was founded on being a helpful nation, like helping others. So,
Who's like, what do you mean others? Like other countries?
yes, like America is basically like the stability of the world, to be honest. Like
Doesn't it
that's
make sense to help yourself first before you help others? Like when you're on the airplane, when the thing inhalation comes down, you put it on first before you put on somebody else, right?
yeah, but
So
that's not
America first before we help other people.
right, but that's just not how life works. I mean, people did cross the borders illegally, but there's asylum seekers and then there's a lot of pathways to citizenship. You know what I'm saying? So like people who are seeking asylum, like this is what I learned. It's like people who get to the border, they're like, "Hey, we made it to the border, let us in." And so a lot of countries either make them stay at the border or they let them in and give them a court date to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really, really interesting. But that court date could be 6 months, 7 years down the line. So they're in America building a life and having a family, and then their court date comes up in like 7 years, and then they're like, oh, well, you don't have enough evidence to stay here because there's like criteria to make it like if they're in some kind of danger, then they could stay, but or they get deported at that point. So it's like you're here 7 years And but you have to be a part of the system because that's the thing. Undocumented people are paying into our system. They're paying into our tax. They're helping our economy. Like it's not that it's a terrible thing to have
How are they? How are you paying taxes if you're undocumented?
because there's a number, it's called an ITIN number.
I know, but that expires. Oh no, okay, no, I'm not talking about that. I know that part. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, yeah. You know
I
what I
think you're
mean?
talking about something else.
Yeah, so they
Those aren't considered. You said
visa,
those.
the visas, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I'm not worried about those people.
Right. So that's the other issue. There are a lot of people here in our country that overstay their visas. So if you get a
Right.
visa, you can get a work visa or you can get a school visa. And so, it has an expiration date, but a lot of people in a lot of countries overstay their visas and they're not supposed to be in that country. So, but a lot of those people are registered in different databases. So that's how they keep track. That's how, like, I know I've heard some stories of people that receive letters from, I don't know if it's ICE, but there's a couple different departments that work with immigration, and like they have tabs on everyone pretty much. Like they know who's here and who's not here, except for the people who like were smuggled in. And
Yeah.
then, but my whole thing with that too, like as being a Christian, I definitely believe like we should help all people, help foreigners, help, people that are from other places, like just help the most vulnerable in our society. But I also believe in respecting the laws. So if you don't respect the laws, at some point, it's going to catch up with you. You know what I'm saying? So like the people who did come here, in a not a straight up way, through like asylum or through, try or even because there's a lot of people who are going through the proper channels, but Trump and them, when they show up for their naturalization ceremonies or interviews, because it's like a whole process. You got to do interviews, you got to do an application, you got to pay money. Like they make it really difficult for people to to, to be a citizen or whatever, or even get your green card, or like it's just a lot of craziness. So, um,
I feel like getting on a side tangent. I feel like we should have like pinpointed if we agreed or not with the deporting instead of like just talking about it. You know what I mean?
because I mean, I I let's see, I agree with deporting criminals. I agree with that. Like, and I think most Americans do agree with that. But the problem is the way that our government is going about it. Like they've never just rounded up people or taken hotline calls or
Hotline bling.
or just like, yeah, disappeared people on the
Oh,
street.
take for example the club situation, right? So they said, God, where was that, dude? I want to keep saying Colorado. Um,
Because I looked up that situation. I don't know. He was saying during the campaign that there was like Venezuelan gangs in Colorado, but I couldn't, or that took over like an apartment building. Is that what
yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about?
they had cameras and stuff.
But I mean, I'm not saying it's not factual or it's not real, but I just, and it might be
Oh,
like,
it was Colorado, yeah.
or it might be anecdotal, like it might be a situation that happened, but it's not the thing that happens a majority of the time with undocumented worker or undocumented people.
Okay. So when they infiltrated the club because they had what information that there was going to be undocumented or whatever gang members in there, and they work with um It was ICE. I think it said FBI, all the alphabets, right? W- was that okay or was that not okay? I mean,
What do you
they
mean?
did they went in there and they didn't, just arrest everybody. They arrested the people who were, I guess, quote unquote, the bad guys.
I mean, if they are really bad guys, then that's what, that's fine. But they don't know. They don't even know if it's bad guys. And a lot of people that are getting apprehended, ICE is like, we don't care. We don't care. So that's why I think even this lady, some of the judges, the federal judges, and that's not even like a widespread thing. Like a couple judges didn't allow or like let the undocumented people who showed up for their court date to go out a back door versus going out the front door and getting apprehended by ICE. Because ICE, they don't care. They're like they're just out here on some gung ho craziness.
But she let like a criminal go out the back door. Does that sound right?
Was it a criminal?
Yeah, because he assaulted two or three people.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then yeah. But
That's
I
why he went to court because he uh he got confronted for playing music too loud and he beat down the dude and his girlfriend. So he
mhm.
was in court for assault. So instead of her letting ICE get to him, he let this asshole go out the back door.
Hmm.
Pause. I don't know why I paused. Pause.
Right. I don't know. I didn't really look into that story, so I don't know.
That's just weird. Is one thing to hate Trump and hate everything that he's doing. Okay, I can understand that. Well, I don't understand that. But get on him doing stupid shit. Don't get on him just because you hate him. Like if he's
No, but
doing
nobody's
cool
doing
shit, cool.
no, but he's not doing cool shit. Like people aren't just hating Trump because it's Trump. It's not like Trump what is it? Derangement syndrome?
Derangement syndrome.
Like whatever that is.
TDS.
The man is breaking up families. Like people don't care that he's breaking up families and just I mean, whether people are here legally or not, they're not all criminals and he's breaking up families and he's like people who need certain special care like for cancer treatments and stuff. They're just like, "Oh well, send them to the what is it, detention camp in Louisiana." Oh, then they're going to get deported to whatever country. Like it's not even their home country. Like where are you going to send people who are citizens or maybe not citizens, but they were born here, like and they're even coming for people who were born here who if you're born on this land, our constitution says you have citizenship. So now they're like trying to get rid of citizens that
Well,
are
I haven't heard anything about that.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
The Supreme Court is about to listen to their ruling, or they're about to listen to and rule on the birthright citizenship argument. And he's also the House today was working on a bill to vote for being able to send away citizens, American citizens, who are violent crime offenders or whatever. So he's planning on sending them to El Salvador.
yeah, I don't mind that.
But I mean, that's what he's doing. That's why people,
Yeah, I don't mind that one. Yeah,
and
I
I
know
don't,
about that one.
yeah, I don't know if people hate Trump just because it's not just because it's Trump. It's because of he's not being very American. Like it's very anti-American to take away like even the kids, even the kids at the schools that the Palestine pro-Palestine kids that got their student visas revoked because they were, speaking out against I guess what's happening in Palestine. They're like getting rid of them. Like you can't do that. They're here legally. Like it's wrong.
They got are they getting rid of them? Are they out of here?
They put them in the detention camps, I guess, for a couple weeks. And now, just today, they released a couple of them because it's unconstitutional. Like what he's doing is unconstitutional. Like if they want to be all, oh, we're patriots and the Constitution, we the people. Well, everything they're doing is anti-democratic. Like this is why people hate what he's doing is because it's going against everything our laws are saying are true. Our laws and constitution are made for. Like you can't be selective of what you want. You can't be selective of what things in the Constitution you honor and don't honor. That's why people don't like him because he's changing democracy. He's changing everything. Like you don't see it that way? You don't see him like telling those people they can't protest on Columbia's campus, like as a first, that's the First Amendment right, whether you're a citizen or not. And it's not like they're inciting violence.
Is that where they're Columbia, where they're, or was that UCLA where they were blocking Jews to go in the class?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, there was a lot that happened on college campuses all over the world. And yes, there's bad apples in every group, but you still can't revoke people's student visas because they are protesting. Like that's a First Amendment right. Like we have the con like they're violating the Constitution. And that's why a lot of his executive orders aren't even real or aren't even possible. Like he's just doing that to be in the headlines and cause confusion. But it's just not it's not possible based on the Constitution. And so that's why a lot of these people are finally being released from these detention centers that he targeted just to take photos or apprehend people. Like that's crazy. How are you going to apprehend people in unidentified cars and wearing masks? Like if somebody pulled up on you like that and just started harassing you and putting you in a car, you're just going to allow it? Like that's crazy. Like that's not even American. Like we're not supposed to be that way. Like I'm proud to be an American based on America's core values.
I only saw that they did that to that lady in the not turban, in the
Yeah,
hijab,
yeah. They did it to her.
but she wasn't American.
She was a school. She was here on a
Yeah,
visa.
yeah.
So, I mean, she had the right to be here. Like that's the thing that people don't understand. If you're on this ground or you on this land, you have due process.
It's
You
kind of like they did it for show because she did some. Then she did like some anti-American propaganda or like a protest or something.
I mean,
She was like a writer or something.
it was a pro-Palestinian, it wasn't, they weren't supporting Hamas. They were supporting or, bringing awareness to the genocide that was happening or that is happening in Gaza.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah, that's crazy.
so they're getting silenced. Like America's core values, like I thought it was really interesting. Is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press, individuality, equality. People have equal rights under the law, democracy, government by the people through elections. Our core value, opportunity. People come here, work hard, and you could build a future. Rule of law, laws apply to everyone, individuals free to live your own way. And yeah, so like that's because I was like, what is an American? Like what makes us America? What makes America America? And that's really real. That's what we founded our country on, and that's why so many people try to come here. And immigration is an issue in other countries as well. Like they don't a lot of people are having immigration issues everywhere, and a lot of it is because a lot of people don't like it because they don't want to lose, I guess, the core values or the essence of whatever that country is.
I guess it's easy to fear monger when you're just pinpointing or showing on the news like an immigrant uh, killed two people or a mother or a young female student. Um, those are more minute situations, but yeah, we want to focus on the bad guys and not like the dreamers and the undocumented. But they have to go through the legal process. That's just fair. Now it being slow, I mean that's another situation. I think they should
Yeah.
focus on that more than anything else and get these people who want to add to our society, um, get those people in. So, but I think ICE is fear mongering to let other people know, like the bad guys know, like they don't come here, and it's all just like I don't know, like
But
I'm in the middle with Trump. You know what I'm saying? I don't love him. I don't hate him. I like what he's doing, but I don't like that part. I like some of the things that he's doing. I just don't like that part. That part's just so weird to me. And both sides are playing fear, like the left's doing the race baiting, and then the right's doing the fear mongering with the ICE and grabbing all kinds of people. If you got tattoos, you're getting rounded up.
right,
If
like
you
what's the point? Why are you taking photo ops and making videos with guns in front of the prisoners in the jail? Like, what is that supposed to show? I mean, like it's just a lot of
just
like
show like the American people
valuing,
that something that they're doing something.
right? But that's not cool. Like that devalues
You're talking
human
about what's her name?
Loam or
No,
Christy
no,
Nome or something.
yeah.
Like that was corny. Like that's like
That
all
was man, that was corny.
like all
It was a good shot though, but it was corny.
but a good shot of what? Like that's
It's a
a
good shot, like as far as
suffering
like
that weren't supposed to be there.
if well, most of them are criminals. I mean, and we don't know which one to be. We don't know. We don't have a number on how many people aren't supposed to be there.
Well, they
But
said 75.
prior to her being there, those those are criminals in there anyway. From from El Salvador. I keep wanting to say El Segundo. I keep
Oh, that's funny. I
El
know.
El
And
Salvador.
then like we paid them $6 million to take 300 people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's six millions of dollars is nothing for America, but that's it's just crazy. But I did look, just to be fair, like if we did like it costs a lot of money to have people in prison. Like it's any depending on the state,
Yeah,
like it's anywhere from like 20,000 to like 100,000 or maybe even more a year for one person, depending on the state. But and I guess they're paying them basically it comes out to like $20,000 per person annually to be housed in El Salvador. So it's a political thing, it's a economic thing for El Salvador. Um, but it's just not right by any means to
I
me.
think both sides need to make noise and not just, especially the Republicans. You got to know like this is insane. You know what
But
I'm saying?
nobody's speaking against it, and it's wrong. Like it's not.
Well, the Dems are. I mean, people. You mean the right side isn't saying anything?
Yeah, the Republican Congress, they're just allowing them to, get rid of everyone. They're getting rid of all these people, the undocumented workers or undocumented, I keep saying workers, but the undocumented people. Because like even DACA people, they're supposed to be here because I mean, I guess their situation is their parents made it here and then they were born here, the dreamers. They call them the dreamers. So, I mean, what do you, I don't know. Like, it's just wrong. And it's our system. Like, they don't want to fix our immigration system or something. Because like it should not take years. It shouldn't take years to become a citizen.
It's
And
kind. Keep going.
no, I was just gonna say real quick, like I mean, like immigration, other countries don't just allow people in, you know. So there's nothing wrong with closing the borders and having laws to get people, you know, their pathway to citizenship. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like we're not, America is not the only country doing this. Like this is a situation, like people need to look at things on a global level and not just, you know, like America. This is just happening in America. No, this immigration and the rules to become citizens and are very strict. Like other countries are really strict in letting people just come in their country. So, you know, I mean, America has been very lenient in comparison to other places. I will also say that in their favor. But just it's just period. Just the way that they're going about this is unconstitutional. And you can't be the party of law and order and you don't even respect what the Constitution. And then
Right.
and
It's
then
hypocritical. Yeah.
and then enacting laws from like 1932 to justify getting rid of people, you know, claiming that they're gangsters and terrorists, so then they don't get due process. So, you know, they found loopholes. And it's just strategic, it's just wrong, it's just illegal. It's not patriotic. Like, I don't know. I believe in America. I mean, even like if you think about Reagan, they're bro. Like Reagan allowed 3 million undocumented workers a path to citizenship when he was around. And you know, he always talked about the melting pot. And then later, you know, people started talking about the salad bowl, of how they looked at America as far as being like a cohesive nation or like a bunch of individuals to, you know, not so cohesive, but your individuality makes America great. And people believe diversity makes America great. Like, what do you mean if I didn't have Indian food here or Mexican food? Or, I mean, that's very surface, but it's just the reality. Like, diversity is a beautiful thing and it makes our country great. And it's just disheartening to see what's happening. Like if you really got rid of all the immigrants or undocumented people, like what? Is that the goal? Like, do you hear that in your circles? Like, is that what they want?
What you mean, my circles?
The people that you hear from, like, I don't know. Like you definitely know another side than I do. And then but one thing I did come across too is that a lot of people, like in, I guess like the 80s and prior, like modern times, people really were into having immigrants here. But then after 9/11, when, you know, a lot of the terrorist attacks and the things that happened on our soil, people started changing their minds about being so open and letting immigrants here because they feel that they were anti-American or people are trying to change the fabric of America. That's what they're scared of. They don't want America to become browner. They don't want America to not have English as the primary language. What were some of the other things? Like just, you know, and this isn't just America. Other countries feel the same way too. They want to keep their identity. Like if you're in Europe or Africa or, you know, people don't want Americans in Africa like that. Or, you know, different countries in Africa. They might not want dumb Americans there, you know? Like you've heard that.
Sure,
So,
there's a group of people who want to keep America English, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. They don't want people to change the national culture, create language barriers, undermine traditions, undermine rule of law. Uh, they don't want fear of losing jobs. Um, they're scared of national security issues and terrorism.
Hmm.
It helps people keep political power. Um, And I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, like, yeah, they just don't want to lose their country that they've grown to.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, America is a bunch of immigrants. It's all America's immigrants, period. Like immigrants, like even in biblical times, like the Bible even talks about, helping the vulnerable and the foreigner and, reminding the Israelites that, they were once slaves in Egypt, So it's like you guys, like it's been a part of life and culture to have and to help the vulnerable and the less
But
fortunate.
isn't it if we live in this city, right?
Mhm.
And I've lived here. I was born here, and let's say like I lose my job or I lose my benefits or I lose my house or whatever. And why isn't the city helping me? But instead, like they're helping uh, this immigrant, undocumented or documented, and giving them an allowance and giving them a place to stay and giving them per diem and all this stuff. Well, I'm almost like about to be a homeless. Like, shouldn't I, when I pay my taxes, I work to the bone. I help. I go to church. I gave to charity, but I'm in dire straits. I can't pay my medical bills. And like, why aren't I looked at first instead of this person from wherever coming from the outside in, and they're getting a leeway to I don't want to say prosperity, but a leeway of assistance.
Well, we
I'm
do
saying? Why
we do
I
have
should
a
be
program.
first.
Yeah, and we are. We have programs like that for people who come across hard times. That's why we have federal programs like welfare, SNAP, Medicare, what is it? Medi-Cal,
Medicaid, Medi-Cal.
like all those different things. But Trump and them are getting rid of all the federal programming or all the federal funding for those types of agencies where that help people. Like that's what the government's purpose is. The government is to make our nation run and to help people, to help the people. Like if you're a democratic nation, that's your job. And that they have programs. I mean, there's people who receive, EDD when they don't have their job or unemployment when they lose a job for so long. When the pandemic hit, they gave PPP loans like stimulus checks. Like the government is here to try to help sustain their citizens, and they are. And like, but I mean, you can't live off of. I mean, I know people who get SNAP benefits or food stamps, whatever. Like you get money, for food and all those things, but it's not. You can't live off of all that. You can't live off of that. And I'm pretty sure they're not giving undocumented workers who are here who tried to escape their country and here on asylum. And you can't just let people live in the streets and just die if they're here. Like that, if I mean, look how bad people go after Governor Newsom for our homeless situation. And I mean, it's his responsibility. It's the government's responsibility. And most people who are compassionate aren't gonna just let an undocumented person or homeless live in the street. But we are finding out that the Trump administration is okay with that, or they'll send you to a prison. So that's why people hate him or
I will
hate.
say Newsom did get rid of he did try to alleviate the homeless situation by 10%.
Hey, that
Because
works.
I see it.
Yeah, like that's what people I think can relate to is when they actually like uh our next show should probably be on the economy because what they're saying today is our shelves are about to be bare in like 2 weeks at Walmart and Targets, all those places. So people are when they start seeing real things, a lot more people are gonna hate Trump. And I mean, it's not even about a hate thing. It's like you're basically killing all of us. Like you're killing our livelihoods. Our 401ks are down, ruining families, instilling fear by disappearing students for protesting First Amendment. I thought it was, you know what I mean? I thought First Amendment was the thing for a lot of the conservatives or MAGA, like free speech. But now you can't even speak freely without possibly going to a prison in El Salvador, like because you speak out against the president. Like we no longer have a democracy. We're now headed, we're pretty much in a constitutional crisis and we have a dictatorship. So that's why people hate Trump. So that's all I have to say about that. I have a lot to say, but I did learn a lot. Like I didn't realize a lot of the systems that are happening around the world with immigration and just how it's pretty much set up for failure. It's like the DMV, you know what I mean? We go to the DMV, it's so antiquated. Like it's like you
The
guys don't,
DMV is getting better.
it is. So
They
that's
have a
why
better system.
yeah, but it's like, why, you know what I mean? Like, are you guys like, but it was so slow and terrible for years. Like, that's why a lot of people do have issues with government. It's like, why do we have all these government agencies and why are they so slow and don't really seem to get things done?
I
I don't
think
know,
it's
funding or what.
working on the inside. I think it's because you just have. I probably shouldn't say anything.
Or, I mean, it's just slower and people aren't like they can cut a lot of programs and fluff in state jobs. Like everybody knows state jobs were pretty cush. I don't know how it is anymore, but I'm sure it hasn't changed much. But that just shows like everybody should be excellent whenever they can because it does create like bottlenecks in the system. It does create issues for others. Like we're so interconnected. Like I don't think people understand how interconnected we all are. Like if this is like there's cause and effect and actions and reactions for everything.
I mean,
Like
like 60 degrees of separation.
more so like yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody's connected, but I mean more so like if you take away somebody's SNAP benefits, their welfare, their food stamps or whatever, if you take that away from them, an effect could be, they might resort to stealing or you know what I mean? Like just a cause and effect of something you're taking away from someone and giving it to somebody else or if you take I can't really explain it right now. I'm sorry. But that's all I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Like it is. It's like if there's just a weights, and measures like the whole like opportunity cost.
Like a butterfly effect.
No, I don't know. What is that? But I'm just saying, if you take something away from somebody else that or like just with the budget, like how they're, trying to cut stuff with Doge, um, if you take away the USAID department and there's nobody there to help people in, Africa that needs aid, some kind of aid, foreign aid to live, to have fresh water, like people are gonna die. Like decisions, people like the decisions that they're making on paper is like actually affecting people's real lives. That's all I'm saying. Like you might be undocumented, but on paper, but you've established a whole life here and you've contributed, you've paid taxes, you've done your thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on right
So
now.
you don't feel like the tariff thing will um be good in the end. Like anything you do in the that's that's impactful and to make changes, you probably won't see, like it's like investing. Like you won't
But you have
see
to have a thing in place. You like if
what
you
thing like a security.
yeah, like okay, so I guess the goal is to
I mean,
bring
that would be kind of hard for tariffs, right? Because we're trying to make things equal. Like China and Canada are putting tariffs on us, and we didn't put tariffs on them. So and that's not fair, right? Or no?
yeah, it's not fair. No, it's definitely not fair. And that's why a lot of Trump's tariffs have been left in place through the Biden administration. But whatever they're talking about is, I mean, there is trade
Because
is
maybe it'll help in a long run for like more people, like more Americans to buy America.
okay, but there's no American manufacturing plants here right now. Like everything, like the way that China plays the long game, like China is self-sufficient. In America, we depend on everyone else for everything. Um, and it's going to, I mean, in the long run, who has 5 years to wait for, I don't know, whatever, a new chip or
But is that a good idea
what,
to
tariffs?
to buy America first? To have Americans buy American products.
That's fine, but we
So
don't
how
we
so
don't
how do
have
we
the capabilities of doing that now. We have no manufacturing plants.
but so how do we do that to do that?
Okay, you keep the economy stable. You keep the economy stable, but we have no stability. So the corporations can't make investments or they can't, like, that's why the stock market is going crazy right now and it's dropping like crazy because there's no stability in it. And they're not going to make investments if they don't know what the climate of our economy is going to be in 3 months or 30 days.
But wouldn't it be hard to, because it's more about convincing companies to do that, right? To make everything in America because they're getting their products from China, they're employing people from China or Russia or India instead of employing people here because it's cheaper over there, right? So it's hard to convince these companies to say, hey, instead of telemarketing from India, how about telemarketing in Montana? You know what I'm saying? How about we
Because
start there? So we present these I guess tariffs to convince the companies that yeah, this is happening. So we're gonna have to push you to make everything America first as far as employing Americans. So employing Americans, making American products, developing American factories and putting more companies here instead of uh, shipping things to or products to China and India and Russia and all that stuff.
yeah, I mean things got outsourced because it's cheaper and they exploit
Right.
the labor force.
Yeah.
So if Americans aren't working for 80 cents a day. Like and so if Americans are getting paid at least the federal minimum wage, which is like $7.25, I think. Like if they even just paid Americans that, that's and versus I don't know, 80 cents they pay
But
somebody.
isn't that more like company greed? Well, I know it's profit margin, but I think, but I don't think the more let's say like I work for like I make logs or something, and you sure I can have American employees, but I save 70% by outsourcing to China, right? Because they I can pay them cheaper,
Yeah.
which isn't fair to them, and it isn't fair to my American employees because I'm taking jobs away from them. But I'm saving
But we
me,
don't even want those jobs.
but I'm well. I mean, if you need a job, you'll take a job. You know what I mean? Like it
But
doesn't
they're
matter.
not. Like Americans are not. Like that's just the facts of it. Like they'll like
Uh,
they had Americans work in the fields and they
yeah.
quit after 3 days because it was like backbreaking work. Like it's just not, it hasn't happened. Americans don't, I mean,
I don't think that's everything. I don't think that's every industry though. I do believe that there's some like Apple, a lot of a bunch of PC and Android. I'm pretty sure people would love to work for those companies. You're talking about like the labor stuff, like picking grapes or something, or
or yeah, or even working in meat packing plants or, on the assembly
yeah, like
line.
if
Like but if they're not, I mean, that's for the company.
yeah,
It all comes down to the bottom line, like you said, and the profit margins that they
yeah.
make.
But I think that's more like uh like me as a CEO, my profit. You know what I'm saying? I think it's
Yeah,
very selfish.
right.
Yeah.
They're all about it's for profit.
Yeah.
Like,
So how do you convince American companies to stay American and just take the L, stop being greedy?
yeah, but that's not how profit works. Like they're not gonna
Like
do
you can like they're still making profit from let's say like they're work for Post and you make cereal and you're making money, but you would make more by employing outsourcing uh um your company. But
yeah,
you were doing fine with your company in America, but you'll do better for your profit, for your pockets.
right. But you're shareholders. Now you got to think about the shareholders. You're cutting into
But
their profits too, and
right.
they fund your corporation. So you're something's gonna have to give. Like that, and they're not gonna be happy, and then you're gonna go out of business. Like he literally just put corporations in a really terrible place. And if that's are his homies or his billionaire friends, they're not going to be very happy with him either. Because this is the tariff thing is not bringing China to the table. China is not, China is not playing right now. Like Trump is saying that, oh, he talked to China and he's called them and they're working out negotiations. No, nobody is making any negotiations with Trump. The whole world has basically um America is just not an option right now. Everybody,
Well,
globally,
China,
people have
yeah.
linked up against America.
Yeah, but China is hurting though
How?
because they what was I watching? So I watched a China Observer and China News, and the companies aren't they get a lot of what am I trying to say? Profit, a lot of business from America. So
Yeah,
now that that's
everything.
gone,
We buy
the
everything.
the companies aren't, some people in the factories aren't working. They're not working as much. They had to let go of a lot of people.
But the
Like
thing is,
they went from like 100 to like 10.
okay, but China, what do we know about China? I mean, it might be a mixed economy, but I think isn't it more communism? So that means that it's not like it is here. They're taken care of. Like their government takes care of them because there's no what is it called? Like free markets or whatever. So
So
I
why are they complaining then?
Who's complaining?
The factory owners, the employees, well, now they're not, the employees are getting laid off. A
Well,
lot
I
of
think I think the owners are government officials, right? Like, because it's different in China.
like every factory owner is a government official.
I think so. Don't quote me on that,
Yeah,
but I think it's different. Like I think they like that's the whole communism thing. That's the whole argument about having free markets here or
yeah.
capitalists.
Check out China Observer. I'm doing a bad summary of it, but like they're unless they're lying, it's propaganda, they're just saying like, they're the regular people, China's employee is hurting, where the government,
They're
like you
good.
said, there might be good, but
They're
the employees
self-sustaining.
they're losing their jobs, and it's hard to find jobs.
Yeah, but it's different there. They're taken care of already. Like their room and board,
So
like
they're just complaining to complain, or
or it's not real. I don't know. Because I saw it just depends where you are or because from what I saw, um these this one Chinese guy, he was saying, we're good over here. We have everything. We're self-sufficient. We don't need, they don't need our money.
was that
And America
the
needs,
government enforcer dude that you were saying? What did I say? Government enforcer dude. The government employee, like the owner of the factory.
no, it was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, but I don't know. I'll look into that, but I don't. I think China is fine. Actually, China is our holds a lot of our debt as well. So like we owe China lots of money. Like we can't sustain this. America is going to fail, and Trump is completely all the experts are just in disbelief of what's happening. Like he self-inflicted our economy. Like he inherited a wonder in his words, beautiful. He inherited a beautiful economy. And he threw it down. Like we're headed to a depression, not even a recession at this point.
A
And
depression.
in a couple weeks, like literally in a couple weeks, like they shut the Los Angeles ports, go down to what's that place? San Pedro? Like go down there.
Out past Long Beach.
Yeah, you'll see that like the Los Angeles ports are empty. It's like one of the biggest ports, and they're basically saying in like 2 weeks we're gonna see empty shelves everywhere because China stopped all of the routes, all of the crates that are coming this way. And China is not talking to Trump at this point. So I don't know if they're like just kind of being like, fuck y'all or what. Like I don't know if they're gonna come back and to the table. And if they don't, I mean, we're just gonna have to sacrifice because like our economy, we're consumers. We consume way too much. And like I was when this all started happening, they were like, yeah, the iPhone is gonna go from $1,500 to $3,200. And it's like, well, you just don't buy any iPhones, you know? But our society is so consumerist. And they also made a really good point that, there's an Apple cult here in America. Like people who have to have the latest and the greatest iPad and everything. Like it's really like cultish. Like our society is it's a little off. It's a little off.
Yeah, the iPhone is like Dre Beats. Remember when Dre Beats was, you just buy Dre Beats just to put around your neck like a necklace.
Yeah.
Like
Like
the latest iPhone is the same
yeah,
thing.
we're very consumerist, but we're being boycotted. Like other countries are not buying anything, like our movies or nothing. Like the world has united against us, and it's about to get really, really crazy. But anyways, we were supposed to be talking about immigration. Our next show will probably be we should tackle the economy because there's a lot to talk about, but I feel like we just did it. Maybe I'll just cut this off. Maybe I'll just cut this and put it there. But so yeah.
It could be a snippet.
Oh, I know exactly. So yeah, so that's that. That's where we are. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Very, very crazy. So, all right. Well, till next time. Thank you for hanging and listening and talking with me, Bishop. Peace.